Hello, beautiful Cancerian moon children family, and welcome to January 2021. Also known as mirror season for Cancerians because, the sun is moving through your opposing sign of Capricorn. And wow, this January is so much like incorporation and understanding of what just happened. And it really, that review reflection time does not start till your full moon that we have at the end of December. And I feel like January just continues that because, congrats to you all. So much of the pressure and energy on cardinal signs like you, and especially you with all that energy in Capricorn opposing you, has moved. And that really changes the ball game for you guys. So congratulations on mirror season and on this shift out of seventh house pressure. In some ways, it's been really beautiful. It can help you build and understand things and work with things from a much with a really grounded understanding of what it is you're wanting to build. And, Jupiter in your seventh house obviously is going to expand and highlight relationship and help you grow it in beautiful ways. But it can also feel really personal, and it can also feel like you have to grow and face into yourself in ways that can be a little uncomfortable. So this is a beautiful time to kind of just understand what this last year or two has brought you, right? And as the energy has moved out of Capricorn and Aries, and Mars as well, moving out of Aries and into Taurus this month, the energy is moving out of cardinal signs like yours and moving into fixed signs and really changing the energetics of what we're working with. So this is a time to just kind of get a little more comfortable. Uranus is also going direct this month, and we have a new moon in Capricorn in your seventh house of relationships, new beginnings there, new desires, new, if you are wanting to connect more with somebody or something, this is a great new moon for that. If you're in a connection or you're in something, it can deepen and blossom and have really good news. A full moon in Leo in your second house of the Venusian beauty of life. Really great moons for you guys this month. So the moon cycle is going to be really helpful, I think, for Cancerians. So here's the big thing, and this was the note that came to me as soon as I sat with Cancer energy, which you all know I'm married to a Cancer, and it's the best thing in the world. Wow. Just amazing. I'm so grateful for your energy in this world. I'm a little biased, I'll admit. But as I tapped into your energy this month, I was thinking about how, Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius, and then the sun at the end of the month moving through Aquarius, and a Mercury retrograde going into pre-shadow and then retrograde in Aquarius. A lot of energy in Aquarius at the end of this month. Those are all 8th house energies for, especially if you're Cancer rising. So this is transformational energy. Now this is a water house. 8th house energy is all about water and how we work with it. And Cancer, you all know how to tap into this. So this is actually really great for you. But card 1, 10 of Cups really wanted to pop out. Oh, I love it. 8th house energy gives us blessings, lessons, understanding from the hidden, from what we consider sometimes on like the typical cultural front as taboo, although they are essential life force building blocks. And so one thing to keep in mind this month is that, you may be looking for a whole bunch of movement on the surface. It's a new year, it's a new energetic chapter, a new 20-year cycle. Things are moving in a positive direction. We made it through a very challenging, surprise-ridden month, and we've come out with some great tool sets for how to work with that and to continue forward. So let's have things, next card, High Priestess. Let's have things be on the nose, be obvious, be external. Generally speaking, the way that January energy is playing out, there are external signs of amazing things. It's a lot less like jarring energy in January, where it's like you're just getting hit by things like right and left and shock and all of that. And there are positive little things happening. But it's important to remember in January, like in general, that the energy is quite supportive of us nurturing into this next season of life. But it is important to work from the details up, right? It's a very important time to understand, especially for you guys, that you're going to be working from the mystery out. And that is one of my favorite things. I love working with mystery energy. It's tricky, right? Because it doesn't translate. It doesn't translate to a report card, to-do list, spreadsheet, practical weekly scheduling of things in a nice, tidy way. It doesn't, our culture didn't just build up around around the mystery work. The culture or the Industrial Revolution and the last couple of hundred years have really changed our relationship to what we consider, productivity, well-being, all of that. And so sometimes it's a little tricky to have a conversation with mystery, with the 8th house energy, like we're talking about, and value. So it's just a little reminder. Death. Okay. All water, all the time. So I'm pulling 3 cards from my classic deck today. And then we're going to pull one overarching message from my Cosmic Tarot. So let's see what's coming out. But for me, card, Queen of Wands, hello. I'm going to pretend that's me. Okay, so a lot of water energy. So we'll talk about the Queen of Wands because Time and Queen, she is amazing for understanding that watching, waiting, keeping our eye focused on what really matters always turns into meaningful action that is super, super potent. But first, we're going to work with all this water energy, which I love for you guys. I really do. Okay, let's talk through it. I feel like, we start this year off. December 30th, we have the full moon in Cancer, right? And so right when January starts, there's kind of this sense for you all that you've just come through this really big year and you have this big illumination that helps you see how much you've changed and grown. And okay, what do you do with that now? What do you do with that work now? Well, right off the bat, there's some love and harmony here, right? And, 10 of Cups to me is the road that we build with the people we love, right? I think any of us who have been around long enough know that our greatest joys often happen in the little moments along a quite complex and sometimes challenging road, right? It's not always just you're staying in a state of heightened joy. It's like the joy within the road and the building. And so 10 of Cups to me speaks to like the joy that comes from those deep mundane moments of connection and the building of something beautiful through vulnerability and awareness that shared life is a challenge and a joy. And so, this is a card of commitment, committing to that big, beautiful rainbow path, knowing that this year, like you may see this rainbow for this coming year. Like this is a big energy of support for you on that front. And knowing that it's going to require you to show fully up for some challenges and some surprises, right? And I think that's so impactful and moving and powerful and a great place to start the year off. Now, we have High Priestess and Death, and this does speak directly to that 8th house energy that you are working with and getting used to with Jupiter and Saturn and a Mercury retrograde and the Sun moving through these energies at the end of the month especially. 8th house energy is very potent. It's very effective. But what does that mean to work with 8th house energy or to work with High Priestess energy or Death energy? It's exactly what I was saying at the beginning of our discussion around working from the inside out, working from the subtle mystery of the fog to the external. And this being actually a really effective way of having things taking place in your practical life that are very effective. And being able to trust that, I think, is the difficult part because we've been culturally trained to distrust this process right here. We've been often, even those of us who are in practice or who enjoy this work like I do, have to remind myself constantly to be okay with working from the inside out. So if this is a time where you are going to notice you have changed a lot and that you are on a new path, for me, the Death is about meeting the sunrise, right? Meeting the sunrise where you are, which means that, if you're starting a new job or you're starting a new life cycle with somebody or you're getting more deeply invested in a path like this 10 of Cups, it takes a kind of courage because you're coming out of like maybe a night of fog and knowing that then leads into this sunrise, and you're having to start as a beginner again. And the same with, not the same. Death. So death is about meeting the sunrise after a long, dark night and understanding we've changed, we've grown, we've changed shape, we've changed form, and maybe even the things we are approaching or trying to do in our next form can be a little intimidating, right? But the High Priestess reminds you to observe your soul speaking to you. You know, the High Priestess always gives amazing wisdom and advice, but she's very quiet, very subtle, and she wants you to be true to the deeper mysteries of life as your guiding compass point. So once again, your energy is about feeling that connection to the mystery. And here's the thing, your overarching keynote message that wanted to come out was Queen of Wands. I love this girl, this woman, this powerhouse, right? So it's interesting. We have all this water energy, right? Which is extremely potent. You all know that. And then we hit the Queen of Wands, who is all about actions and moving through the world. And her message, like I said, is that if you take the time to look around, listen in deep, you know, Queen of Wands is tied to cat energy. Cats hunt by sitting very still and quietly and then using their energy very exactly to go for what they want, right? If you're willing to sit quietly and listen and pay attention and relax into it, your forward motion is going to be potent. And you know what's so interesting with you all? I think cardinal water energy, what a combo you all have, because it's okay. So you have all that intuitive energy, right? And all that hidden behind the scenes energy connected with the moon and with water. And then you have cardinal energy, which is so capable of like getting in there and making things happen and being like on point. And I find that to be such an interesting combo because it's two very different modalities. And I think you can find a lot to work with it with the two of them, because when they're in flow, it works very well. But sometimes I think it can be a little confusing. Like, which one should I be leaning into? Should I be more on my like get in there and go for it? Or should I be leaning more into my intuitive flow state where I'm just kind of allowing, right? And I think this speaks to it. It's like, honor that mysterious part of yourself. Honor the water side of yourself. Let it like lead a little bit. And what happens is you get these rushes of big external movement. Now here's the thing, these are really supportive cards. They do speak to the fact that you have changed shape and you are looking at a new horizon, but that new horizon involves so much beauty, commitment for sure, like deep commitment to your path this year. And I think one thing to kind of think about this month, as we're listening and we're getting a sense of the year and we're getting used to this new energetic map that we are in, and it's so different from 2020. It is wild. Like, it's such a different flavor of ice cream. It's like switching from like watermelon to pistachio, like totally different. As you're listening, you know, notice what it is that there's a bigger message coming through about what you're committing to. And let yourself get excited about that. And let your intuitive knowing talk. You know, write it out. Have fun exploring this, because you're going to know exactly what this is. You're going to know exactly what that 10 of Cups commitment energy is. And here's the interesting thing about the energy I'm seeing here that you're working with. It's like you're going to know that certain things are working out or right for you before you could even know it on a practical level, right? Like things that are happening at the end of 2021 that you're like, how could I possibly even claim to know that this is something I'm working with? And you're going to know it. So let yourself know it and enjoy those spaces of knowing, because I think most of us know that the energy was so wild in 2020. Even the most sensitive, on the nose people who are really good at kind of getting a pulse of something, we're having a hard time knowing. That was part of our lesson, I think, was to be okay with not knowing. January, some of that sensation is coming back. And I think for Cancerians especially, I'm seeing it. And I just see such beautiful magic for you all. But it requires you to trust your own innate magic. Things that you often maybe even belittle because they seem so natural to you that they don't seem interesting or important, or even like you're making them up. It's time to come back home to a little bit more of that this month for sure, because it's kind of like you're getting this knowing, and if you opt to not listen to it because you feel like it's impractical or it's not true guidance, it's almost like you're depriving yourself of the enjoyment of being tapped into something beautiful that is awakening in you, and that you're just beginning to meet in that sunrise. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I have a New Year blessing for my beautiful Cancer family that I'm so excited to share with you. Here it is. May you utilize all the hidden magic inside of you to build a beautiful life. May the path unfold with grace and vividness. May you be blessed with enough stability to be full of creative, free, wild impulses. That's one of my favorites. I think that to me is a really good life. One where you have enough stability. And don't we all deserve this? Don't we all deserve this, where we each have enough stability so that we can burst forward in our most vivid, beautiful, caring, loving, creative impulses to share with the world. And that's what I see for you all, and that's what I hope to share with you all. So I am sending you wellness, love, connection, safety, blessings this month with whatever process you are going through. I really wish that for you. I'm going to be doing a lot more of the diving deep on Patreon if you're just looking for like chat time. You know, for me, my Patreon is where you can come to just hang out with me a little bit more. We talk every week and I do worksheets, and it's just such a cozy space that I'm really proud to share with you. And I even share a little bit more about my personal journey and my life over there. So it's a really great space if you're looking for a little bit of fun, and if you want to come along on the journey with me, I'll leave the link for that below. And you can also find me on Instagram and on my website. So I'll leave all of my links in the description box. And you can find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop. She always has something beautiful there. I will see you all in February and also in January for all our moon talks. I hope you are all taking such good care of yourselves, and sending you all my love, and talk to you very soon.